So in today's video, I'm going to take you guys through my full live trading session. So today's stats were 2 trades, 2 wins, 100% win rate, net P&L of 4,241. You will see my entries, my exits, my thought processes behind everything. You will also see the regular entry of my entry model that you guys can all learn for free, play out in live market conditions. Okay, so the first thing I do every single day is I break down my watch list here of all the markets. Top left is my trading journal that anybody can get access to, ascendantacademy.ca/dashboard. Yesterday we had a big losing day, so today we're going to be trying to make that back and then some to hopefully come out on top for the week. And then down on the bottom left is Fusion Markets, my live CFD broker, live account, not demo, Fusion Markets, so you guys can see my live P&L here. I don't hide that shit, and you guys can even, if I go over here and show you guys my trading history, scroll down, I'm not afraid to show you guys my trading history and that it matches my live trading journal. I can guarantee you there's not another trader that will ever show you guys their trading history because they all load up on new demo accounts every single day. But like I said, live account, Fusion Markets. Anyways, so every single day I usually break down top-down analysis. Like I said, it's 2 hours after New York Open for me. It happens at 7:30. I usually start trading around now, 9:30, just because it's a little bit unpredictable to trade FX pairs and US market-based pairs during New York Open because it can spike around and do a bunch of weird stuff. And I'd much rather look for my entry model and wait for volatility to die down a bit before entering a position. So first things first, US 30, the Dow Jones. We're going to start on the daily, then work our way down. So the first thing you can see right off the bat is we are kind of floating around this daily support resistance level right here. And clearly there's a big wick on the day. So we're obviously rejecting off of this big macro daily support resistance level. And what that means is we are probably going to be pushing up. But since we are in an overall downtrend, once price breaks through support resistance level, it loves to come back and retest it before it continues dropping. And since we're on the daily time frame, we can't see that happening, but I can guarantee you that to my entry model is probably playing out on the smaller time frame. So let's go down to the 1 hour. So what do you know? My entry model is playing out. If you guys haven't watched my trading course yet that breaks down my entire strategy that I'm going to be trading in this video completely for free, go watch that. It's 4 short videos. Or you can go into the dashboard here for free and you can learn it here. Penny Pip strategy, completely for free. I give away it all for free. Just because I'm a firm believer that even if you did try to sell your strategy to somebody, majority of it is already free to begin with, so that you can learn for free on YouTube. It's just like people just like make a high ticket course for their strategy just because they have discretionary filters on already free information about trading. But anyways, my entry model is playing to fruition right now because it broke through a massive macro daily support level. It's coming back up for a retest, like I said. So we're just waiting for it to show signs of rejections back down, and then we'll enter it. For something like this, comes back up for a retest right here, and then it shoots back down, or it could do it right here as well. So we're just waiting for that to happen. On the 5 minute, it looks more apparent. So this would be the first touch, coming back up for a retest. This would be the retest area. So in the next 4 minutes, if this candle closes red, I'm actually going to go short here for something like this, and looking for it to aim these lows, or to fill these lows, or to fill these lows. So realistically, this would be like the targets. Since we're scalping, it would be the first target there, second target there, third target there. And if you guys have been watching my live trading videos for some time now, you guys will all know that I very rarely honestly hold my initial position all the way to the last take profit area, and it's because I'm actually trading live capital. And I say this all the time: if you're trading with a regulated broker like Fusion Markets, would you rather care more about having the best win rate or the best profit factor on your trades, or if you're trading with the amount of capital I have, which is around $400,000, I can make like $4,000 on this trade, and I could cut it around this point for like $4,000 where my cursor is for the second take profit. I'd much rather cut the trade there or get stopped out with a trailing stop and be able to withdraw that $3,000 to $4,000 profit within 30 minutes and have it in my crypto account within that amount of time from a reputable broker than say I have the best profit factor or win rate or whatever. Like it's just like a made up thing to make you feel good about your trading, even if it's keeping you unprofitable. Like, yes, you could have like crazy stats when your trades actually hit, but in the grand scheme of things, are you actually making money? Are you actually able to withdraw that money? Or are you just caring about the stuff on like a demo account? Or like take the profits when you got them is all I'm trying to say. When you're actually capable of withdrawing it. Like, you hear it all the time, like people that are like gambling at like casinos and stuff. Not to say that like this is gambling. This is more like very educated gambling. But anyways, people say it all the time, like the house always wins. And I'm a firm believer that the market always wins eventually. So stop while you're ahead for the day, get out. I know a lot of good traders that will literally come on US 30 or the Dow Jones or the NASDAQ, whatever they're trading. They'll put a position on, and after they go into like $200 profit, they'll just cut it. They're done for the day. They made $200 because in the grand scheme of things, there's like 20 trading days in any given month. 20 times 200 is $4,000. That's more than most people make in a month anyways. Especially if you're trading like a $50,000 Top Step account, for example. Everybody knows it's super easy to make $200 on a 50K futures account, or even like a CFD account like this. If you're trading like a 50K account, it's very easy to make $200. But most people, they go to work for like 10 plus hours a day for not even $200. And yet when they go into profit with their trading analysis in like a couple minutes and make $200, they have there's such a low probability of them taking profit then, even though the only reason why they're staying in the trade is because they've been poisoned by saying it's not a good trade if you don't hold it to full take profit. Or they have like this weird like serotonin thing where they only feel good about the trade if it goes completely into their full take profit. Like, man, if price spikes down like this and you're in the position and you're up $200, why would you not take that, especially if you're on like a live account? That's all I'm trying to say. And usually I like to cut trades after $1,000, but since I'm starting to film my actual trading sessions, these bigger days, they get more views, so that's why I've been holding trades longer. But usually if I go into like $1,000 profit, I usually trail my stop in $500 increments to lock in that. So as I'm yapping about all this shit, we didn't get a second red candle close, so I'm not going to take this just yet. I'm going to wait for the next candle close. If it starts to show signs of rejections back down, then I'd be inclined to take it, but we will see what happens. I'll set an alert for underneath here. I'll set an alert for above it. So let's move on to the other markets. Euro USD is having holy shit, there must have been crazy news that came out because it took us so many days to drop down here. Let's actually see that. It took us almost a month to drop down, and then in 2 days we came all the way back up. That's crazy. It's probably Trump and like the tariff news and stuff that he's been dropping lately. That's probably what's happening, because this is the euro stacked against the dollar. So that means that if we go into the US dollar index, I can almost guarantee you that it's absolutely tanking. And a lot of people think like, or get mad at Trump for doing this. Like, clearly, like, he's tanking the US dollar. But if we take the US dollar index, even though the US dollar index is tanking, the US 30 usually goes up, because when the DXY, the US dollar, tanks, all the massive multinational corporations that are based in the US, all the currency that they are generating from other countries, once it gets converted back to the US dollar, since the US dollar is weak, it actually seems like more revenue, which in turn spikes the US based companies' stock prices. So people get mad. They say like Trump is like destroying the US because he's tanking the US dollar. It's actually the opposite because it makes all the US based companies stock prices go up. So all of the so all of like the C-suite guys and people, the insider traders, they get fucking massive payouts when he's doing this because they can just load up on stocks for like all the US based companies. So once he drops the news that tanks the US dollar, it does the opposite effect of all the US based companies because, like I said, after all their revenue from other countries gets converted back into the weak US dollar, it seems like more revenue. So just a little bit of micro and macroeconomic education for you guys. But that's the reason why like the US 30 is moving up, even though the DXY is moving down. Anyways, so I'm not really interested in taking this, but clearly we are rejecting off of a previous macro daily support level that I have marked out. On the 1 hour, it doesn't really look like I don't want to trade this, so I'm not even going to break it down. Like it doesn't look healthy for me at all for what I'm doing. And yesterday I was forcing trades even though PA wasn't lining up to my entry model. It lined up earlier in the day, but when I started trading, there was literally the PA was dead and I was forcing trades, and that is what made me lose like $10,000. So Solana USD, obviously we're tanking off this massive macro daily support level and we're getting back down to here, to this massive macro daily support level down here. So we'd just be looking for it to show signs of rejections back up. But clearly there hasn't been. And this is the PA yesterday that I was trying to trade. Like, look at that. Who in their right mind would want to trade this market? All of the volatility was up here during like the morning, and I started trading when PA was right here. Like, any sane person would say, no, I'm not trading today. But since I like to try to post like a live trading video every single day, I decided to try to force trades in this and then also Bitcoin as well right here. And we got burnt because of it. I just got an alert from US 30. So let's go check out US 30 really quick. So it is starting to show signs of rejections back down, which is good for me because in 40 seconds, I might actually get a position for you guys going. But while that's going, I'm not too interested in any trades for Solana right now, but I will break it down for you guys a bit. So on the daily, like I said, we've been tanking down. On the 1 hour, let's see what's going on. We're showing signs of rejections off of this red line that I've previously marked out, because you guys can clearly see that there's a wick at the bottom of it. So on the 5 minute, if we were risky, we could take the FOMO entry if we got 2 green candle closes here, but there's not much to target. There's not much space to fill. And since Fusion Markets has a pretty high spread on Solana USD, there's no point of taking this trade. So I'm not interested in that. Bitcoin is usually reflective of all the crypto markets. So whatever Bitcoin is doing, usually everything else follows suit. So obviously we're tanking, so Solana is tanking as well. And we're just going to be waiting for rejections off of this massive macro daily support resistance level that we're kind of floating at. Off the 1 hour, not really much going on. But since US 30, I'm actually going to take this trade on US 30. Their volatility isn't crazy right now on US 30. And since like there's a lot of weird news and stuff coming out, it's probably risky to be taking sells right now anyways because of the whole spiel I gave you guys before. But this is my entry model playing out right here. This would be the first test coming back up for retest, showing signs of rejections back down. So it does look healthy for sells. So we will take this trade on US 30. And hopefully it plays out. I don't even really like trading these markets anymore just because after trading crypto markets this past bit, you can make a lot more money in a shorter time frame than if you're trading these markets. So I'm going to take a pretty big position. So I'm going to be risking like $5,000 to initially make $10,000. But if we do start to push down into my analysis, I'll just eliminate risk and then lock in profits. So I'm going to be selling it after to see what this candle does actually. It might actually be coming back up. This might just be a flag in this overall downtrend. But I am pretty short bias right now. The thing that isn't playing out to my entry model is we have yet to have 2 red candle closes in a row. So it is a little risky for me to take this without that being like my actual entry. But it still looks like it's playing out healthy, especially since these highs right here didn't break above the most recent highs. So it's like we're starting the overall downtrend. So since we are wicking up right now, I am going to be selling it because that just gives us a better entry and makes it so that I'm not risking as much on the trade. So I have a pretty tight stop loss, which is pretty risky for US 30. It's just above the most recent highs, but I would much rather get stopped out pretty quick than get stuck in a crazy uptrend if that's what it wants to do. So that's my position. You guys can see my live P&L here. It's a pretty sizable position. So moving on with Bitcoin, I've been loving trading Bitcoin lately. So like I said, we're floating around this massive macro daily support resistance level right here. And since we are trading above it, the most probable thing is that price will actually use it as a support and bounce off of it. Even if we are overall in a downtrend and it's going to continue falling, we're going to have some kind of reaction off of it, even if it is just a little flag. And that's what we're playing off of since we are scalpers in this market right now. So we can play off those little flags. And it seems like since we are spiking up here, it is looking like we might actually get stopped out on Bitcoin or US 30, but that's okay. So realistically, my entry model is playing out off of this support level on Bitcoin, which would be it hitting it once, coming back up, coming back down for a retest. Now it's showing signs of rejections back up. So if this candle closes green, I might actually take a pretty impulsive buy because I usually like to see like actual body of the candle closing green and not just like these consolidation candles before I enter, like 2 of them in a row. But I might lead this trade because usually with crypto, once it chooses a direction, it likes to stick with it and move fast. So in some cases, it is a good idea to actually lead your position and get in early than waiting for 2 candle closes green, because look at these big candles right here. Once price finds its area or finds its direction, it usually likes to stick with it. So I'm going to be taking this trade on Bitcoin as well, and just playing for it to at least fill the retest high or these highs up here. And it looks pretty healthy because this is my entry model off of this support resistance level. But since we are in an overall downtrend, it might be a little risky to be taking it. Because obviously the most probable trades you can take in a downtrend are sells. But you know what? I am going to take this trade as well on Bitcoin. And then this will probably be my last trade of the day. And hopefully it plays out. Otherwise, that'll be 2 losing days in a row. So I just bought Bitcoin. My first initial profit is the top of the most recent high right there. And since we are trading crypto CFDs, the position is pretty large. So just looking for a quick impulsive move up, and if we don't get that, then I might just cut the trade. Now this is the fun part. We kind of just sit back and wait to see what happens. US 30 starting to look like it's going to continue pushing up and stop us out, but that's okay because the Bitcoin trade is pretty sizable. So even if we do get a bit of a push up, even halfway to our initial take profit, it'll be like $5,000. So moving on to cable. Cable is usually pretty similar to Euro USD. As you guys can see, the last 2 days have been solid green, just like Euro USD. So on the 1 hour, we're showing signs of my entry model to the top side. So broke out of this massive macro daily support resistance level, came back for a retest. Now it's showing signs of rejections. So realistically, I should be going long here. It looks incredibly healthy for long positions, especially on the 1 hour. Aiming for it to fill this price area up here. First take profit would obviously be the top of the retest high to my entry model, which you guys can all learn for free. And then just the other ones would be over here somewhere. But on the 5 minute, yeah, this looks incredibly healthy to continue pushing up. We've actually traded this live before on one of these days on Euro USD where this exact thing happened. It broke out of a massive macro daily support level, came back down for retest, showed signs of rejections, came back down, and then it absolutely raged up after that. After right here, and we entered in right here on a Euro USD trade. So we trade this exact market before, or this exact PA before. So it would be smart to go long here, but since I'm already in 2 trades, I'm not going to do that. So USD CAD is finally showing signs of rejections back down. So I'm healthy in profits on my big investor account on this trade, if you guys have been following along with that. And I also called it out to my free Discord as well, so you guys should follow that, or join that, I should say. So we're obviously getting a wick right here off of this red line I've marked out, which is also previously a bottom of a key consolidation zone right here. So the probability of us having some kind of reaction off of it, even if it is a small little flag, is pretty high. And clearly we did flag up off of it, but now we're dropping back down. And it's possible that we're forming, or we're going to be trading in this little key consolidation zone that's forming. So this would be the high, this would be the low of it. So longs right now, if we start to show signs of rejections back down or back up, would be favorable, but I'm not interested in trading USD CAD. Like I said, I'm just breaking it down for you guys. So let's just sit back and watch these trades play out, if they want to stop us out or if they want to fall into profit a bit. And if I end up managing them intra or within the trade, I will keep you guys updated with that. But until then, I'm just going to set my alerts on them just so I know when we go into profit or get stopped out. So the right side will be Bitcoin, and then the left side will be the US 30 trade. Now we just sit back, relax, sip on my black iced coffee and see what happens. Anyways, we're starting to get a pretty big push up on Bitcoin here. So I'm actually going to trail my stop to lock in $2,000. And yeah, it might be jumping the gun on trailing my stop, but honestly, since crypto is so volatile, I'd much rather locking profits when I got them than honestly try to like top tick moves. Like I said, I'm trading a live account, so I'd much rather lock in profits when I got them. So my trailing stop is looking something like this. And that's the cool thing with trading as well. Like I always say, yes, you need to have a certain amount of capital to take the type of positions and the size of positions that I do. And obviously you have to front some of it as risk to take the position as well. But eventually price will move into your analysis and you can absolutely eliminate that risk. So initially I was risking a fair amount of money, but now we are completely eliminated the risk. No matter what, we're making $2,000. And then the US 30 trade looks like it's coming down as well. So that's looking healthy too. And then if the US 30 trade gets candle closes above $1,000 profit, I'm going to be trailing my stop in $500 increments. So we got spiked out of the Bitcoin trade for $2,000. Now we're just waiting to see what happens with the US 30 trade. And we will see if we were correct or not in trailing our stop on the Bitcoin trade. or if it just hit our trailing stop and then continues pushing up. So if we start to show signs of clear rejections back up again, I might even re-enter the Bitcoin trade. So we will see. I'll move my alert to be right there, move another one to be right there, and we will see what happens on Bitcoin. But for the time being, we're just waiting to see what happens with the US 30 trade. And hopefully it finally breaks out of this little structure right here and continues falling. So since we got candle closes above $1,000 profit, I'm going to start trailing my stop and eliminate risk. And we actually had a pretty big spike down. So I am going to lock in $2,000 profit on this trade as well. And it's pretty aggressive because it's right above where it is right now. So it's possible we get stopped out right now. So we will see if we do. It's like right there-ish. So we got taken out of that trade as well with my trailing stop. And I'm good with that because altogether for the day made $4,200. And like I said, a lot of people cry about trailing your stop or locking in profits, but clearly, would you rather have to wait through this flag right here for it to continue pushing up, or would you rather just get spiked out for $2,000 and not have to deal with fucking sitting on the charts for longer than you have to? Especially when, like I said, I trade a live account, so I'd much rather have the $4,000 that I made today that I can withdraw in 30 minutes than have to deal with another flag up. So I just got an alert for Bitcoin. Bitcoin's dropping pretty aggressively still. US 30 still looks incredibly healthy to continue pushing down. But like I said, I'm good with the $4,000. So that's the trading session. It's been 45 minutes. 45 minutes to make $4,000. Pretty damn good. So I'm going to journal these trades and then break them down for you guys one last time. Okay, so the first trade I took was this US 30 trade. The reason why I took it was because we broke below this massive macro daily support resistance level. And it started to show signs of my entry model to the downside, which is it broke down, comebacks up for a retest, and then it starts to show signs of rejections back down. And on the 5-minute, it assumed my actual entry model, this would be the first test, this would be the second retest, and then it started to show signs of rejections back down. Since I trade live capital, I like to lock in profits when I got them, and I trail my stops pretty aggressively. So we got stopped out for $2,000 profit on this one. And then the Bitcoin trade was also to my entry model as well. We started to show signs of rejections off of this big macro daily support resistance level. On the 1 hour, you couldn't really see my entry model playing to fruition off of these wicks here, but down on the 5-minute, it was a clear indication that we were going to have some kind of bounce off of it. This would be the first test. This would be the second test, started to show signs of rejections. So I bought in, trailed my stop pretty aggressively on this one as well with my stops below here. And we got stopped out for $2,000 on this Bitcoin trade as well. And clearly it was probably a good idea to do it on the Bitcoin trade because it looks like we're going to continue falling down a bit. And right now we'd be floating around drawdown or break even. And like I said, since I trade live capital, I'd much rather locking profits than have to wait through little flags like this when I'm just looking to get in and out of the market with as much profit as possible. But US 30 is starting to break, so it looks like we did trail my stop a little too aggressively. I probably should have just trailed it to $500 profit, because we would probably be in like $3,000 profit right now on this trade. So it looks like it's going to continue dropping to probably hit the second TP. But unfortunate, but either way, we're still walked away with $2,000 on this trade, so I'm not terribly unhappy with that. So today's stats were 2 trades, 2 wins, 100% win rate, net P&L of $4,241. And I was pretty confident with these trades because they both played exactly to my entry model. I was just kind of hoping for an impulsive move up, like US 30 is showing an impulsive move just on the Bitcoin trade, just because if it did move like how US 30 is impulsively into my analysis, we would probably be locking in like $10,000 for the day on this trade, but that's okay. And it wasn't quite enough to scrape our way back from this loss I did yesterday. But overall, we're cutting into it a bit more. And if we keep on having trading days like today, we're obviously going to come out on top for the week. Anyways, if you like this type of video, make sure you guys like, subscribe, comment, join my Discord. Go check out my strategy either on the dashboard or on my YouTube videos in the trading course. See you guys in the next one.